So you hate how you look on camera when you're trying to record a video. I understand 100%, but let's just talk about it quickly because what's happening is not really what you think is happening here. Maybe you have recorded a video and you looked at it and in a moment of panic, you immediately deleted it. Your thought process might have been, I look terrible, I look old, I look fat, it's 1,000% humidity like it is here today, and my hair is getting bigger every minute that I talk. The clear choice was delete that before any human being could ever see it. Has that perhaps happened already with you? But would you have felt that same type of panic if you recorded it and knew that no other human being besides you was going to see it? Probably not. And that means that this was never about how you really looked on video. It's about the discomfort of seeing yourself and having to record in a lens that's just this piece of glass or piece of plastic, and it doesn't give you any feedback, it doesn't give you any nods of approval. And so to make up for that, your brain blames the nearest thing it can find, and that is your appearance when you're looking at the video once you're done recording. And that's actually a good thing, because if it really was about how you looked, well, then I don't have a simple fix for you. We're all in a weird situation. Because if it really was how you looked, well, I can't sit here and fix that for you because I don't know, I'm not looking the best myself. But since your reaction in this case is simply because of how your brain reacts, this is actually completely fixable, even if you're like me and you're over the age of 50. So today I've got 3 quick tricks for you to help with this, and it requires no new camera gear. It doesn't require a fancy editing skill that fixes everything. And the third trick I share is the one that changed the most for me. So I hope you'll stick around because all 3 of these can really help you when you hate how you look on camera. Let's get started. With number 1, let's remember your brain and your reaction is the problem here, and we can fix that. I want to encourage you to have one person solidly in your mind as we go through this. And even though I talk about finding your perfect viewer for your videos all the time, in this case, it's not your perfect viewer. It's maybe what we'll call your ideal person. I want you to hopefully be able to think of one actual human being that you really love and you really trust. Maybe that's your spouse or your best friend. Maybe it's one of your grown kids, or maybe it's a grandchild who thinks you actually hung the moon and that you're pretty great. Now, here's the part that makes this trick stick. If you can, find a photo of that person and make it as small as you can, but actually just print it out. And when you do that, if you can tape that little picture pretty close to the lens on your phone, your camera, or whatever you're using to record, that means every time you go to record, you're not looking at the little light that's staring at you or that impassive lens. You're looking at this person. And something happens in your brain the moment that you picture, or you, in this case, literally see a warm, familiar, friendly face while you're talking. Your tone softens a little bit. Your pace might tend to slow down as it just sort of calms you down a little bit. You stop feeling like you have to perform for the camera and you just kind of start talking more comfortably. Even if you just try this one trick alone, I think it can make a big difference in just the comfortability factor of how you're talking and how you're recording. So let's try it, but let's move on to number 2. The second trick is to kind of warm up your body, warm up your face a little bit before you start talking and recording. When you're nervous, I think we just lock up in ways that it's happening before our brain kind of catches on to the fact that we're actually doing it. Stiff shoulders, frozen face, the big eyeballs like you're the deer in the headlights. High-pitched voice maybe, and that's not a personality flaw or your presentation flaw. That's kind of just what anxiety does to the body in just about every circumstance. So the fix isn't to just blow that aside and pretend that you're relaxed. It's actually to pursue a couple things that will help you to physically relax before you start recording. I'm going to encourage you to start with a smile. And I'm not talking about a little polite little smile. turn on that recording, don't even say anything, and smile this big cheesy grin for like 10 seconds before you start talking. I know it might feel a little silly, but it's kind of one of those physical acts that sends a signal to your nervous system to, okay, we're okay, we can calm down a little bit. And that even tends to change the sound of your voice before you're even saying a word. Like, just as an exercise, you can try to speak and just keep a very flat tone. Or if you force yourself to have a little bit of a smile, you feel how your tone changes with that. Now, I am not saying you need to smile like you have permanent clown makeup on and you're trying to talk through that. I'm just saying that do a little smiling intentionally before you start talking and help that relaxation just kick in a little bit before you get going. Then do a quick warm up. Shake your hands out a little bit. Just kind of loosen up your shoulders and do the things that just helps you to relax a little bit physically. You can also make a few silly faces at yourself if that's going to help too. Heck, why not? You can your lips a little bit and say a few words if you're feeling like, I haven't talked a whole lot, or I don't know, I feel like I'm going to stumble over my words. Just say a few things, make some different tones with your voice and go up and down some and just get a little physically and vocally warmed up. They're simple psychological things that just help you to feel a bit more ready to start talking and not feel like you are just bound by your nerves, but instead can be a lot more natural while you're doing it. And number three, and this is one that I've had to sort of work through to find my own groove with it, and you're going to have to do the same thing because nobody's alike in how we like to prepare. Have you ever pulled up a document on your computer and it's just that white screen sitting there and that cursor is blinking and you're like, my brain is empty at the moment? Or perhaps have you thought about maybe what you'd want to talk about on your video and you write out every possible word because that makes you feel more comfortable, but then you feel the need to almost like read it like a robot, and how it comes across when you are talking on camera is pretty stiff because of that. Neither one of those things means that you're bad on camera at all. It just means that you haven't kind of figured out your style of what's best for you to prepare and then be able to speak from that preparation. So let's dive into that a little bit more. Because all our brains act differently and we have different styles of things, there is no single way that is best to be able to prepare a video. But there is a single way that's going to be best for you. I encourage you not to be in a place where you feel like you just have to wing it and sort of pull things out of the air, because chances are that's going to make you feel pretty uncomfortable, even if you are a pretty spontaneous person. Now, truly, some people do talk best if they write things out word for word. And there are plenty of people who use teleprompters to be able to read that. Now, you got to know, are you actually capable of talking well off a teleprompter? And again, with all these things, if you want to go that route, absolutely great. If that's going to help you, but you got to practice enough so it doesn't seem like you are actually sitting there reading, and your eyes are going back and forth, and it's so evident that you're just reading from a screen that your viewer's like, eh. But if that's the best system for you, put a little practice in, enhance the being able to feel naturally while you're doing it, and you'll eventually get to be able to create a pretty good product by doing that if that's what makes you the most comfortable. You very well might be a person who thinks better as you write rather than speaking, so writing it all out no matter what is the best move for you ahead of time. Whether you read from that is fine, but maybe you just need to kind of get all your thoughts congealed, and putting it on paper or on a screen or something like that, having it all ready, is your best step of preparation. Great. Then there are people who can just, jot down three or four of the main things that they want to talk about, and they just hang that short list of bullet points underneath their recording device. And they're like, okay, here's number one. And then they just kind of vamp on that for a while and think about the things that, and sort of the words come out of their mouth and they're a lot more natural with it. And they would never think, oh, I should sit and write all this down, because they know that it's just going to come more naturally and maybe even better out of them if they're just not over prepared. Depending on who you are and what your personality type is and how you think the best, one of those answers might be best for you, or you might be somewhere in the middle. I kind of think maybe I'm a little bit in the middle, because oftentimes I will, when I'm trying to think through everything I want to cover in a video, I'll sit down and I'll type it all out. I'm a writer by nature and by trade, and so it's easier for me to just kind of think that way. But I don't I don't think I'd do well with a teleprompter. I think I'd be way too focused on it and not feel like I can just kind of naturally talk. So I print that out and I'll highlight some sections that I know are a bit more complicated and I want to think through them and get them right. But then there are also times I'll just look at a section and I'll think, oh yeah, there's a couple points I want to cover in there, and I'll do that. I record generally a section at a time. I'll do a couple minutes or like one section of what I'm talking about, and then hit stop and edit those all together at the end so it's one cohesive video, but I'm just doing a little bit of a chunk at a time. So I'm in the middle. You might be anywhere on that spectrum, and whatever you land on, I hope you'll take some time to figure out really what approach makes you feel the most comfortable and the most prepared. The thing that matters with you finding the best approach for you is you're finding the way to erase as much of the self doubt as possible in this whole process. So try it out. Take one time and think when you want to go over a video topic and sit and type that whole sucker out before you get started and record it and see how it goes. And for the next one, think through what you want to cover and try writing down 4 bullet points of your main things you want to cover, and then turn on the camera and just start talking. Go through those points one by one, think of the things that support it, throw in some stories here and there. And once you've done that, maybe try some middle ground too, like I do. You'll never really kind of figure out what you feel most natural doing until you try out some of these approaches and think, wow, I think I felt pretty good with that one. Or, nope, that's definitely not me. Whichever wins out, then pursue that and keep practicing with that. Don't feel like you have to try and copy what anybody else is doing, because they might be a completely different type of person than you are, and what they're doing doesn't feel nearly as natural for you. And the goal is as natural as possible and as relaxed as possible to make it all as least stressful as possible, right? So obviously practice and figuring out some things is going to help you the more you do it. And they're just 3 very simple tricks to be able to just try out and see if it helps. But the bottom line with how you feel about how you look on camera and how comfortable you feel recording yourself is to remember that no one is judging you as harshly as you are. No one is ever going to watch your video with a level of scrutiny that you will. You're staring and looking at every gray hair and every extra pound and every wrinkle, and your viewer might be laid back on the couch with the remote, just kind of watching in the background, or sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee and scrolling and sort of have you on in the background. I know that's not the case with my videos. I'm sure you're all sitting with rapt attention taking notes. I'm kidding. I hope you're not. But seriously, that gap where how closely you watch yourself and how casually your viewer watches yourself, that gap in the middle is where all your fear about this lives. You are the only person in the entire world that will ever study the videos that you're putting out with that level of intensity. Everyone else, especially if you've got viewers that might be over 40 and over 50, are just kind of looking for a friendly, real, authentic person to listen to. So the next time you catch yourself wanting to, oh, that video is terrible, I need to delete it, and that will never ever see the light of day, just ask yourself this one question before you do that, would you? Honestly, would a single other person in the world have ever noticed that fill in the blank of what concerns you about that video? Most of the time, the answer is no. We are our own harshest and most zoomed in critics for everything. And I will remind you that as you're building a YouTube channel, you have this glorious time in the beginning where your videos aren't getting that many views. And you have the time to practice. You have the chance to figure out the style you want to approach. And you're actually recording the videos, maybe doing a touch editing if you need, and then actually posting them and getting it up and learning the process. You'll never be able to learn until you actually try it. And that season in the beginning where you might be frustrated that you're not getting very many views is actually a wonderful time of freedom where you can kind of figure out how you want to record things and just get more comfortable with the whole process. Take advantage of it. But if you still need time before you start posting, record some videos and try the 3 tricks that we talked about here. Record them, and if you have to delete them, fine. I'll encourage you to still post them because everybody's early videos are ones that we all look back and say, what on earth was I doing? But still, when we've gotten down that road and we can look back and see how much we've improved and changed and learned and figured it all out, it's nice to have them to look back on and say, huh, I'm a lot better now. But practice these tricks, see what works for you, and just put the reps in and sort of gain that muscle of comfortability. And I think the more you try and the more you just make some little adjustments as you go, you can get that comfortability factor heightened and just feel better about how you're recording and how you're looking on camera. I don't want your ability to be able to share with the world and to grow a YouTube channel to just be thrown aside because you're just like, I don't look like I should be on YouTube. Who does? All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been something that's been encouraging for you. And hey, I would love if you'd subscribe so we can stay in contact. And leave me a comment if any of this has resonated with you so I can get an idea what you're thinking. Thanks so much. And YouTube thinks you will really like this video next. I'd love if you take a look. See you in the next one.